of how you may feel about a particular issue or individual. But I'm about to tell AG he got booed. That's right. Okay, he was AG Ramirez from branch 183.
283.
Oh, 283. Sorry, Santa Rosa. It was unintentional. So it's hard to see. What? Okay, microphone number 4, excuse me, under privilege.
Greg Donaldson, Branch 88, Galesburg, Illinois. We have already had a division that was ruled upon by the chair. I believe that this is out of order.
No, brother. Any delegate can call for division. That is not limited to the chair. Depending on whether the brother agrees, we of course could move to the next step, which would be something that is completely foreign and unfamiliar to all of us, a teller vote. Okay, the question is on Legislative Resolution 6, on the Executive Council's recommendation of disapproval. All those in favor of the Executive Council's recommendation of disapproval on Legislative Resolution 6, please stand. Please remain standing.
The problem is, it's like clustered in different sections. You'll see it with the names. It's why sometimes the vocal ones I can't hear. So they're going to sit, then all the people in front are going to stand up. And then it looks like, right, it's just like washes out, you know.
Okay, please be seated. All those opposed to the Executive Council's recommendation of disapproval on Legislative Resolution 6, please stand.
See, the problem is, if you look out there, there's a massive section. Everybody's saying that's the ministry. Yeah, why not? That hopefully, I'd be good at what he should. I was going to say, I feel like I should have done it first, but anyway, yeah, let's do that, please. Thank you.
We will have a teller vote. Please be seated. We will secure the doors in 5 minutes. The question once again is on the Executive Council's recommendation of disapproval on Legislative Resolution 6. All those in favor of the all those opposed, start over. Opposed, opposed, opposed. All those opposed to the Executive Council's recommendation of disapproval on Legislative Resolution 6, please stand. Please remain standing until the teller gives you the indication to be seated, at which time please be seated. Okay, the previous question was on the Executive Council's recommendation of disapproval of Legislative Resolution 6. The yeas are 1,781, the nays 1,909. The recommendation of the Executive Council is rejected. We would now need a motion to adopt Legislative Resolution 6. Microphone number 4 under privilege.
I would like to make, I'm Audrey Davis, Branch 214, San Francisco. I would like to make a motion to adopt.
Thank you, sister. Microphone number 5 under privilege.
Bradford Lewis, Branch 214. I second that motion, and I thank this body. I'll take it back to my carriers.
Thank you, brother. Is there any objection to proceeding to the question? Hearing none, we will proceed to the question. The question is on the adoption of Legislative Resolution 6. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. No. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. As I discussed earlier, when the brother asked about making a motion regarding the resolutions that the Executive Council had recommended approval on, he inquired about making a motion to consider them all approved by the body. There was a little bit of doubt, let's say, about a motion yesterday. The maker of that motion is at microphone number 9. Sister Braden. Oh, sorry. Sergeant at Arms, you can open the doors. Sister Braden, we have, from the transcript, from the court reporters, I would like to state to you the wording of the motion that I put to the body to vote, because ultimately that is what you voted on, is when I called the question. And Sister Braden can confirm or otherwise correct what her intent was. The text or the words that I used were, and I quote, "The motion is on all resolutions, which would include legislative, general, and national agreement resolutions. Those that the Executive Council has recommended approval would be approved in block." I recognize microphone number 9 under privilege, and ask Sister Braden, who was the maker of the motion yesterday, if that was the intent of her motion that the body approved.
That is the intent. Jennifer Braden, this thing.
You're good. Keep talking. Don't worry. Plug your ears and talk. You'll be good. It's just an echo. We can hear you.
Okay. Jennifer Braden, Branch 3331, Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. That is my intent. In clarification, I said all that was approved by, an approval by the board to be voted in block.
Thank you, sister.
All of them.
Thank you, sister. So back to the brother's question. This body has already approved a motion that would has approved all of the resolutions that the Executive Council recommended approval on. Therefore, the brother's motion that he inquired about earlier would not be necessary, as the body's already made that decision, and all of the resolutions included in the book where the Executive Council recommended approval have been approved by the body in block. We will now proceed to Legislative Resolution number 7. Brother Barner.
Legislative Resolution number 7, found on page 115. The recommendation of the Executive Council is one of disapproval. This resolution would create an area wage. Similar resolutions. Is this what we just did? Similar resolutions were debated and rejected by delegates to the 49th, 51st, 57th, 58th, 60th, 61st, 62nd, 63rd, 65th, 69th, 71st, 72nd, and 73rd National Conventions. Although we welcome an open debate on all issues related to wages and benefits, there's no evidence that the overall membership has changed its views on this issue, and we urge this convention to disapprove it. I just told a lie.
Thank you, Brother Barner. A little bit of tongue in cheek, but seriously, on Legislative Resolution 7, while the topic is the same, obviously the resolves are very different. So it would be certainly appropriate, even given the approval of the previous resolution, for us to consider this unless the maker of the resolution would prefer to withdraw it in light of the previously approved resolution. So we will begin with the maker of the resolution. Microphone number 7, under privilege.
Renee Eberhardt, Branch 1681, Casper, Wyoming. I would like to thank the delegates for passing the last resolution. We have debated for years, and I have been very vocal against locality pay as being negotiated by the executive board in our contracts. This resolution was to address that issue and support our members who live in those localities, because it doesn't affect Wyoming. And I thank you and withdraw this resolution.
Thank you, sister. Legislative Resolution 7 has been withdrawn. Legislative Resolution 8 was previously approved. Microphone number 5, under privilege.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Wyatt Austin Gilderson, Branch 82, Portland, Oregon. I would like to make a motion. If this motion is out of order, I will table it. But because of the pivotal role that all of our tellers have been doing throughout this convention thus far, I would like to move to increase the pay to our tellers for this convention.
Thank you, brother. Let me just briefly caucus. Brother, hang tight right there at microphone number 5. There's one little thing I want to check. It's constitutional because the Mileage and Per Diem Committee is included in the Constitution. I think it's going to be just fine. I just want to double check something constitutional in the views of the attorneys. Once I get that answer, which will be here very shortly, I'll call you back to the mic. Okay? All right, microphone number 4, under privilege.
This is the Cody Harris, Branch 82, Portland, Oregon. This is related to the same issue, so I will table this until we resolve this first issue.
Okay, brother, thank you. Microphone number 9, under privilege.
This is Joe DeRogers of Branch 18, Southeastern Massachusetts. I make a motion that any executive council recommendation of disapproval overturned by the delegates automatically be adopted as written or amended.
Okay, before I ask for a second, just to be clear about the motion. Brother DeRosiers, would you state it again?
The motion is that any executive council recommendation of disapproval that is overturned by delegates be automatically adopted as written or amended.
Thank you, Joe. That's the motion. Is there a second? Microphone number 4, underprivileged.
Stephen Holloway, Branch 507, Madison, Wisconsin. I second.
Thank you, brother. So just as information, effectively, what this would mean is if the Executive Council has recommended disapproval, the body then voted to overturn that recommendation like was just done with Legislative Resolution 6. That resolution would automatically be adopted. It would negate the need for us to have a motion to adopt the resolution. Is there any discussion? Microphone number 5, underprivileged.
I don't know if I'm out of order or not, but, oh.
Hang on, brother. We are open for discussion only on the motion that the brother just made.
Okay, then you know what? I'll wait.
Okay.
All right.
Any objection to proceeding to the question? Hearing none, we will move to the question. The motion is that on any resolution where the body overturns the Executive Council's recommendation of disapproval, that resolution would be automatically adopted. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is passed. I'll go back to microphone number 5 if you still wish to rise underprivileged. Go ahead, brother.
Sure. A few what do I say? A few talks before. Chevelle Evans, sorry, Branch 11, Chicago. If you haven't noticed already. I understand what the tellers are doing. They're doing a lot of work, obviously. We're making them do a lot of work, but they're already getting their per diem and whatnot. And if you guys vote on giving them a raise or whatnot, no problem. One thing I'd like to do is there's 2 gentlemen right now that seem to be running around like track stars. Kevin and Caleb, the cameraman, are running around here back and forth and carrying a camera with them, mind you, and not just a little phone camera, right? That big old one, right? So I'd like to say, you know, I know they don't work for us specifically, right? So, but maybe we can, you know, do lunch, dinner, do something, or, you know, I'm not going to say maybe no one pass a hat or anything like that, but, you know, something for these guys, because they are busting their butts out here, okay? Thank you, Kevin
brother.
and Caleb.
They absolutely are. They're wonderful people that do a lot of work for NALC. There are staffers of NALC that are also running around. Most important thing is whether they work for us or they work for the convention center or they work for those that are running around taking pictures, every single one of them is a union worker and is well compensated for their work. I will say the most impressive thing, however, if you were able to watch them during the nearly 2 hours nomination process yesterday, today is a walk in the park compared to that. But we absolutely appreciate them, and I can assure you for our staff and for those individuals that you referenced, we will do something to appreciate all their hard work at the convention. Let's give them a letter carrier cheer. Hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip. Ask about a amendment. Push your button there, brother. All right, I'm going to recognize Mike 5 under privilege in just a minute, but not right now. So just hang tight. I'm going to give you the way we would have to do what I believe you were suggesting to do. The NALC Constitution requires the Mileage and Per Diem Committee. You heard the Mileage and Per Diem Committee's report. This body adopted that report to increase any of the compensation that comes in various forms, as you heard in Brother Montgomery's report this morning, would require amending that report, which could absolutely be done. It would, however, require a 2/3 majority vote. So there could be a motion made to amend the report, but we would be amending a report that has already been approved by the delegates. It would require a 2/3 majority to do so. Mr. Brother, would you like to be recognized on microphone number 5? Microphone number 5 under privilege.
Yeah. Wyatt Austin Gilderson, Branch 82, Portland, Oregon. I would like to make a motion to amend the report as stated by Brother Renfro.
Okay, brother. The one thing we would need is an exact dollar amount, so for the delegates to vote on. So what I would say, I don't expect you to remember all the terms at this point that were in the mileage and per diem report. Frankly, I don't either.
Yeah.
So what I would recommend is that your motion would include an amount to increase the compensation for the tellers, if that's your intention.
The report stated, when that report was given earlier in this meeting, the chair said that per teller, they were getting $200. I move we double it.
Ooh, I'm not sure that's correct, brother. Hang on just a second. Let's double check it.
500?
These Board of Tellers receive 500 each. The chair of the Board of Tellers received 800, is what was in the report.
My apologies.
So given that information...
Yeah, my apologies, but my point still stands. I move to double it.
Okay, brother. So the motion would be to double the compensation for the tellers, which would amend the report to go from 500 to 1,000, and for the chair of the tellers to go from 800 to 1,600. Order, please. The motion has been made. Is there a second? Microphone number 4 under privilege.
Cody Harris, Branch 82. As that was the 10th teller vote by my count for this convention, I so second that.
Thank you, brother. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll take a vote on proceeding to the question. Microphone number 1 on information, I believe.
Yep. Zach Schasberger, Branch 434, Ann Arbor. My question is, do we have the money?
Yes, brother.
Thank you.
Microphone number 2 under privilege.
Doug Bothan, Alamo Branch 421. Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to proceed with the question, please.
Thank you, Mr. Question. Question has been called for. Is there a second? Microphone number 4 under privilege.
Stephen Holloway, Branch 507, Madison, Wisconsin. I second.
Thank you, Mr. Second Question. I love how Mr. Second Question always stays at home. Mr. Question, however, roams. Okay, the Call is for the question to proceed to the question on the motion regarding the amending the mileage and per diem report. All those in favor of proceeding to the question, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. As a 2/3 majority have voted or more have voted in the affirmative. We will now proceed to the question.
Can I recognize, I doubt it's something, but if eight's under privilege,
All right. The question is on the motion. The motion was to amend the mileage and per diem committee report that was previously approved by the body to increase compensation for the tellers from $500 in the original report to $1,000, and to increase compensation for the chair of the Board of Tellers from $800 to $1,600. A reminder, because this is amending something that has already been accepted, it will require a 2/3 majority vote to pass. All those in favor of amending the report of the Committee on Mileage and Per Diem to increase the compensation for the tellers and the chairman of the Board of Tellers, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, no. The noes have it. The motion fails. Microphone number 8, under privilege.
Hi, I'm Jackie Stevens from Fort Myers, Florida. I would like you to have like a sticky note or something to remind you to open the doors after tele votes. We've been stuck behind the line several times, and it's not working. So if you could either appoint somebody to remind you or get some kind of sticky note, walkie-talkie.
Thank you, sister. Every time I forget, I have an increasing number of people up here that remind me in voices that increase in both volume and impatience. I will make a note right here in front of me on something to ensure that that remains at the top of the priority list in the highly unlikely event that we have to have another teller vote. Thank you, sister. Yeah. I don't know if the cameras can see it. How's this? As you may recall, when we began legislative resolutions, Legislative Resolution 1, the Executive Council recommended approval on. We were waiting for confirmation just to be sure about Sister Braden's motion yesterday. So for the record, Legislative Resolution 1, based on that motion that was passed by the body yesterday, has been approved. Microphone number 2, under privilege.
Thank you. Alan Moore Sr., Branch 78, Columbus, Ohio. I'd like to make a motion to increase the teller votes by 20%, so as opposed to doubling it.
To increase their compensation, brother?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second? Microphone number 4, underprivileged.
Stephen Holloway, Branch 507, Madison, Wisconsin. I will second that.
Thank you, brother. The motion is to amend the Mileage and Per Diem Committee's report to increase the compensation for the tellers by 20%. Rough math off the top of my head, that would mean increasing the teller's compensation from $500 to $600. And it would mean increasing the compensation for the chair of the Board of Tellers from $800 to $960, I believe. Okay, brother that made the motion, would you like to speak further in support of your motion? Not required, but I want to give you the opportunity.
Yeah, so I concur.
Microphone number 2, underprivileged, is recognized.
Yeah, so I concur that they are doing a lot of work, and that I think it should be a little bit more money than what they are getting, even though in the beginning of this they knew that this could be a possibility. But since they are doing so much, I do think they should get more money for that. I just don't think it should be 100%. 20% is $100. That's not a bad thing. That's why I suggested that.
Thank you, brother. Microphone number 3, underprivileged.
Deborah Jolene Maston, Branch 193, San Jose. I call for the question.
Thank you, sister. The question has been called for. Is there a second? Microphone number 4, underprivileged.
Stephen Holloway, Branch 507, Madison, Wisconsin. I second.
Thank you. We will now vote on proceeding to the question on the motion regarding amending the Mileage and Per Diem Committee report. All those in favor of proceeding to the question signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, with more than 2/3 voting in the affirmative, so we will now move to the question on the motion. The motion is to amend the Mileage and Per Diem Committee report that was previously accepted by the body to increase compensation for the tellers by 20% from what was in the original report. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The noes have it. The ayes would have required a 2/3 majority. Microphone number 5, underprivileged.
Hi, Chevelle Evans, Branch 11, Chicago. That was awfully close, sir, for my ears. So I say, really? Ain't you used to something already?
Yeah, did you call for a division, brother?
Can we do that?
Brother, are you calling for a division?
Yes, division,
Yeah.
sorry.
Come on up.
Ooh, I get on the big stage.
Yeah, I want to see your hat up close, too. All right. This motion requires a 2/3 majority. Right. So it takes 2/3 of the ayes. I will tell you up front, I tell everybody to come up. It can be really hard to judge because you have sections where you have everybody get up, right, and you may see a ton in the front, then you look out there and there's nobody for a while. If you're not comfortable with it, right, you will do a telephone. Right. Which would be kind of funny on this.
That's kind of what I was going after originally. I did think it was kind of fun.
Okay, everyone be seated. The motion was to amend the Mileage and Per Diem Committee report that has been adopted by the body previously to increase compensation for the tellers by 20%. This vote requires a 2/3 majority to pass. All those in favor of the motion, please stand and remain standing.
You see what I mean when you look back there? Like, it's hard. It just like kind of
See, it don't
washes
feel like
out.
2/3, it feels like half.
Yeah.
Okay, please be seated. All those opposed to the motion, please stand.
The one that throws me off is back there. You've got a whole big section.
Well, I know
where
the chairs are all empty right there. And
But everybody in that section was standing
Yeah.
before, and then they sit. It's up to you. Totally up to you.
but so like if I feel it's 50-50, that wouldn't
Yes,
offer.
it's 2/3.
Right, it's 2/3.
So if you believe that the ayes are less than 2/3 based on what you see, then it would fail. If you're not sure, we could do that.
I kind of want to have fun with the teller count.
That's fine. It's up to you. You don't have to tell me or anybody else why.
Well, I think they know why. So.
All
Okay.
right. You want to have a teller vote?
Yeah, teller vote,
Okay.
Okay, please be seated. We will have a teller vote. Yeah. Before I call the tellers forward, should we require the tellers to recuse themselves? Replacement tellers? I'm kidding. Tellers, please come up. We will lock the door in 5 minutes. Okay, Sergeant at Arms, please close the doors. Microphone number 6, do you rise for an issue in relation to the question before the body?
This has to do with past practice, Mr. President. It's been brought
Please
to my
identify yourself, brother. I know who you are, Mr. Question, but for the record.
Oh, yes. Doug Bothan, Alamo Branch 421. I've heard reports that we're not allowed to bring food in here anymore. It's been past practice. We've been allowed to bring food. They're stopping the members, the delegates here with food, saying, no, you cannot bring food in the hall.
Brother, let's finish the question in front of us, and I'll be happy to address that immediately thereafter if that works.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Okay, the question. Everyone, please be seated. Please clear the aisles. The question before the body is on the motion to amend the mileage and per diem report that was approved yesterday by the body to increase compensation for the tellers by 20%. All those in favor of the motion, please stand and remain standing until the teller gives you the indication to be seated, at which time please be seated. good, Andy? Yeah, do it. Okay, once again, the question is on the motion to amend the mileage and per diem committee report that the convention adopted yesterday to increase the compensation for the tellers by 20%. All those opposed to the motion, please stand. Please remain standing until you receive the indication from your teller to be seated, at which time please be seated. Under information.
Tanisha LZ, Garden Grove, California. My question was, isn't it a conflict of interest for the tellers to count their own votes? That doesn't make any sense. We need new tellers to count the vote.
Sister.
Open the door!
Sister, knowing the tellers as people and given their history as union representatives, I do not think that will be an issue.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Bill. Now I get the nickname Bill Ray's sticky note. I missed my sticky note. Please open the doors. Okay, microphone number 7 under information.
Hi, Jacinta Fair, Branch 204. I would consider this as a conflict of interest because anytime the president or anybody that's involved in a question or a situation, they have to remove themselves from that situation.
Okay, for the 2 sisters that have risen and expressed that concern, after this question is determined, which will be here in just a couple of minutes, hopefully, and I give the result, if you wish to go to a mic to make a motion, man, I think they could make a motion that there was a potential conflict of interest and to do it with new tellers, and if the body approved it, we could do it. Okay, sister, the 2 sisters that rose, if once we finish this matter, if you wish to come to the mic to make a motion to utilize different tellers and do the vote over again, that would be proper. But we can't do it until this vote is complete, which will be shortly. Microphone number 9, I will recognize you under privilege. Please understand, while this question is pending, you cannot make any motion or any other business, but I will recognize you under privilege if something other than the business of the convention is what you wish to state.
So, Jennifer Braden, Branch 3331, Roanoke Rapids, as you all know. If by chance they do not want to use the tellers, can they not use the distribution committee?
Sister, we will figure out replacement tellers when and if that becomes necessary. As of right now, it is not.
Open the doors.
I already said that.
Now you could open them. I was told to remind you every time.
No. Brother Weiner says open the doors. If the doors get any more open, the wall may fall down. On the question, on the motion to amend the mileage and per diem report as approved by the delegates earlier, to increase the compensation for tellers by 20%. The votes are, the yeas are 1,382. The nays are 1,336. As this vote would require a 2/3 majority in the affirmative, the motion does not pass. If you recall on Legislative Resolution 2, Legislative Resolution 2, in the Executive Council's report, we suggested that if the resolution was amended, that the council would change its recommendation to approval. The maker of this resolution agreed to make that amendment. Therefore, the Executive Council recommendation changed to approval. I raise this because since that time we had that discussion, we have confirmed the motion that the body passed yesterday. Therefore, General Resolution 2, for the record, is approved. All right, I see you guys at the mics. It's 1:04. Let me tell you what we are going to do here in the very near future. We are going to take a break just like we did yesterday. But let me address the food question that came up. This convention center does not allow outside food and beverage, including in this hall. Hang on. There's a damn good reason for it. To support the union workers that work in this hall and cook, prepare, sell, move food. So we cannot bring outside food in, but by not bringing outside food in, purchasing food, we are supporting our brothers and sisters that work in this convention hall.
And the issue also is even if we purchase it from ours, the rule is we're not supposed to bring it in.
No. And by rule, food is not supposed to come in the convention hall, which gives us very good reason now that we have surpassed 5 hours in session, which would be our normal daily session, and then we intend to go 8.5 hours in total time, that we would take a 30-minute lunch break. When we return from that 30-minute lunch break, we have an excellent speaker that everyone is going to want to hear from, I assure you. So for those that are at the mics, if you have urgent business under privilege that you believe we may need to address prior to the 30-minute lunch break, I will recognize you. I just wanted to make you aware of what is directly in front of us. Okay, microphone number 6 under privilege.
Yes, Doug Bothan, Alamo Branch 421. It's not outside food. That's the question or the problem here, sir. It's the food from within the convention center that's not being allowed to be brought in.
Yes, sir. By rule, food is not allowed to be brought in the hall. That's the convention center's rule. That's not NALC's rule.
Okay, so that includes the food that we purchase here in the hall.
Yes, brother. Microphone number 8 under privilege.
It's Kevin Sommers, Branch 1495 out of State College.
I just had to say something to the brothers and sisters here, especially to the three that stood up and questioned the tellers doing the teller vote. Brothers and sisters, we're supposed to be a family here. I know that there is a lot of division, and hopefully after this vote on the election, that will fix it. But we have to start trusting each other. If we can't trust each other, management wins. Start trusting your brothers and sisters and start acting like a family, please.
Thank you, brother. Microphone number 1, underprivileged.
Brother Info, Jared Sims, Branch 14, Louisville, Kentucky. Shout out to Charles, Branch President in Kansas City, Kansas, our teller, doing a fantastic job. We would not have to decide votes for tellers if we quit calling for teller votes when obviously we know the outcome in advance. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. We will take a 30-minute break. It is 1:07 p.m. We will resume in 30 minutes. The convention will come back to order. Surprisingly, the official timekeeper, Brother Mullins, has not scolded me for extending our lunch. But let's get started. Brothers and sisters, there is really no sugarcoating what we have faced in the legislative and political realm over the last 2 years since we last convened in Boston. It's often felt like attack after attack. While we've certainly had some victories and have sought out any opportunities to present themselves for us to advance our priorities, we've had to also spend a lot of time playing defense. Fortunately, with an extremely activated membership in the NALC and the influence that we have built over the years in Washington, D.C., we've done that exceptionally well. And we have a lot to be proud of. But that doesn't mean that it's always been easy. So let's take a look back at all that's unfolded over the last couple of years on that front. Please turn your attention to the video.
Our motto has always been, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So we are always at the table, and we are always there to fight for our members in the legislative and political arena. Our union is very fortunate to have the most active membership of any labor union in America. Any action or potential action taken by the Congress or by the administration that would affect our members, we are involved in. And our success is really a combination of what we do in Washington, D.C., our professionals, the lobbyists, the folks that work on political issues, how we spend our PAC money, combined with the activism of our members.
Every day, the National Association of Letter Carriers fights to protect our members who selflessly serve the American public. Our mission extends beyond daily routes and charges headfirst into the halls of Congress. For generations, we've worked tirelessly to build influence where it matters most. As union members, we fight together to win in key battles that affect our members now and in the future. As letter carriers, we face threats to our jobs, our benefits, and our safety. Despite these challenges, the NALC continues to win battles thanks to our powerful strategy that pairs advocacy in the legislative halls of Washington with unfettered activism from our members in every congressional district in America.
The leadership of the letter carriers is constantly engaged with members of Congress so that we know what we should be supporting and what we should be loudly opposing. We take these meetings, we take them seriously. They are productive, not just on the member level, but our staffs meet with President Renfro and some of his folks quite routinely to ensure that we make the most sense out of the legislation when we're passing it here in Congress.
He does such an amazing job in talking to members of Congress and sharing your stories, sharing the challenges and the struggles that you face with policy members and with Congress. And we need to know what you're concerned about. And so continue to share your stories and lift up the important work that your members are doing in every corner of our communities and in every zip code.
We've been partners with the NALC and with the letter carriers. And so what drives me and what motivated me to run for Congress are the issues that matter most to working people. And how do we help people that are working get into the middle class, get a fair shot, be able to own a home, be able to own a good benefit, have a retirement with dignity. That's what the labor movement is about.
Our members of Congress, no matter where they are all over the country, they are used to hearing from letter carriers. And the combination of those two things have allowed us to grow our influence to where it is today.
Some victories have been won in a matter of months, but others, like the Social Security Fairness Act, take generations to win. This is where patience and the union's consistent pressure on lawmakers prevail. For years, retired carriers saw their earned Social Security benefits reduced because of outdated federal policies that some predicted would never change. Yet letter carriers never stopped pushing.
Throughout our history, I'm not sure there's a legislative achievement that better shows the strength of our union
than passing the Social Security Fairness Act in late 2024.
The fights for the Social Security Fairness Act started more than 50 years ago.
Our members were discouraged. Frankly, we're discouraged. Why do we contribute to the letter carrier political fund when we're not getting anything out of it? I'm still losing my Social Security benefits.
We never took no, and we continued to push forward and continue to push forward. It's really a story of perseverance by letter carriers, by the leadership of our union through multiple generations, the activism of our members in every state and every congressional district around the country over the course of several decades.
As a new administration came in promising a series of executive orders that would threaten the existence of the Postal Service, the NALC was ready for battle.
When we kicked that rally off in mid-February, we knew fights were coming, but we did not know that they were coming as quickly as they did. Once we confirmed this with the Postal Service and spoke to leadership at the Postal Service, their attitude, frankly, at the time was, you know, this is a done deal. They're going to ruin this great institution. And I said, to hell they are. So then very quickly planned an event that really is unprecedented in our union's history. We had almost 300 rallies around the country in separate locations on March 23rd to really make clear that this is something that is bad for us, it's bad for the Postal Service, it's bad for the people that we serve. And those rallies generated a lot of local media attention, really raised awareness about this issue. We had our members contact the Speaker of the House to express that this was not a good move, and so many of our members did that they decided to shut the phone line down.
This administration has been trying to chip away at other public services, but they've tried to target specifically the United States Postal Service. And I thought immediately speaking out against this, I was really proud to lead a letter to this administration with over 160 other members of Congress to say, hell no to privatizing the Postal Service. One of the things I think that is a really critical bipartisan initiative of the Postal Service Caucus is to fight back against these privatization efforts and get back to the real work at hand, which is supporting our universal service obligations, supporting our workforce, strengthening the United States Postal Service, and move away from the bad ideas that were coming out of the initial, when the Trump administration first came in.
Since then, this executive order idea has not reared its ugly head once again, thankfully, but it's something that we have to continue to watch.
DOJ may be settling on its next targets, Amtrak and the U.S. Postal Service.
In early 2025, another challenge emerged. As discussions surrounding government efficiency initiatives expanded, questions arose about the future direction of mail delivery and postal services. The NALC stayed focused on its North Star, protecting letter carriers and protecting the integrity of the Postal Service. We worked closely with Postal Service leadership and after months of persistent conversation, secured agreements that shielded letter carriers from the changes being proposed. Then, in March 2025, Postmaster General Louis DeJoy resigned. His departure highlighted a larger reality. Powerful interests continue to compete over the future of the nation's mail and parcel delivery network.
The fact that he was then forced out by that administration highlights the influence of those that are our competitors in the parcel market.
When a new Postmaster General was selected later that year, NALC remained vigilant, engaging at every stage of the process to ensure letter carriers continued to have a voice in decisions affecting our future. Attacks on federal services weren't limited to the Postal Service. Across the federal workforce, proposals emerged that threatened collective bargaining rights, union representation, and payroll deduction systems that support labor organizations.
It has been really a never-ending hit list from this administration on the unions that represent federal employees. Because of the deep bipartisan relationships we have on both sides of the aisle, both here in D.C. and locally, when these types of proposals that would harm us come up, we simply go to a lot of our friends on the Hill and say, don't you dare, you know better. And thankfully, we have champions on both sides of the aisle to carry our water, and that's the reason we've been able to get through these difficult times unscathed.
Those relationships helped stop proposals before they could become law and ensured that letter carriers emerged from another difficult period with our rights intact. Among the legislative battles of 2025, none was larger than the fight over the federal reconciliation package that the president dubbed One Big Beautiful Bill, more accurately called
One Big Ugly Bill.
The stakes were enormous. Provisions within the legislation threatened benefits that federal employees and postal workers had earned over decades of service.
The One Big Beautiful Bill, this whole reconciliation process, at least in the 16 years or so now that I have been at NALC headquarters, was the biggest fight that we've had. We've had a lot of fights over the years, but I don't think we've had any quite like this.
NALC immediately engaged lawmakers in both chambers of Congress. It included a provision stripping away a special annuity supplement for federal retirees. We went straight to the House Republicans who had voted yes, reminding them of years of support for letter carriers and enlisting them to help fix what the Senate could still change.
There's always strength in numbers, and there were quite a few of us that went in and said, we're not doing it. The NALC had the specific information we needed. So when we had to go to leadership and fight with them, we had facts to back it up. And I mean, that was great. We had to think with President Renfro on that. You know, we were able to have a united front. So many people rely on it for so many different things. And you can't take that reliability away.
Now, I know you can't go back and change your vote, but you better do everything you can to go tell the Senate that they better fix it, and that's exactly what they did. They wrote a letter, a number of House Republicans signed that letter to Leader Thune that basically said, I know we voted for this, but we screwed up and you gotta fix this.
In the Senate, a last-minute proposal threatened to more than double retirement contributions for federal employees, including letter carriers. NALC moved immediately to get the language stripped out, and we won.
The Senate eventually passed the bill, which did not include anything that harmed us. It then went back to the House and was passed and signed into law in July. Since 2020, we've seen a significant spike in the number of violent crimes committed against letter carriers.
July 19, 2024, I lost Octavia Redmond to senseless gun violence. She was shot and killed while performing her duties delivering mail in the Pullman area.
In February 2025, the Protect Our Letter Carriers Act was introduced in the House and Senate. The bill would fund secure new collection boxes and electronic mailbox keys, so this highly sought-after infrastructure can't be exploited in the first place. It would also require the U.S. Attorney General to promptly designate a U.S. attorney in each judicial district to prioritize any case involving an assault or crime against a letter carrier, and ensure those assaults are treated with the same seriousness as assaults on federal law enforcement officers. The bill is bipartisan, sponsored by Republican Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick and Democratic Congressman Greg Landsman, and it has already surpassed 218 co-sponsors, a majority of the House. Now NALC is pushing to get the bill to the House floor for a vote before this Congress ends.
We are here as members of Congress to stand in solidarity with our brothers and sisters in organized labor and the letter carriers to clearly and unequivocally declare that it's time to end this workplace violence because enough is enough.
We're out here each and every day, and these crimes are happening to us worldwide. And that's why we need some type of legislation to put things in place to help us. And that's why the Protect the Letter Carriers Act is so important.
We know that our letter carriers are being targeted, and that's why we have the Protect Our Letter Carriers Act legislation that would specifically call for higher penalties for those who would commit violent crimes against our hardworking letter carriers. There's growing support behind that bill, and we hope that we can get our leadership to bring it to the floor here real soon.
Letter carriers, as they are frontline workers, they are facing increasingly more dangerous situations on the job. And so we need to honor that, respect that, and do things to ensure that their workplaces are as safe as can possibly be. This piece of legislation is critical to us as the Postal Service Caucus. It has bipartisan support. It is a priority. And we're going to continue to work with the NALC to make sure that we get it done.
Whether we're protecting retirement security, defending collective bargaining, preserving the Postal Service, or ensuring the safety of every letter carrier, our fights may change, but our mission never does. Because when letter carriers stand together, we don't just react to challenges, we shape outcomes, we build influence, and we win a stronger future together. None of that happens by accident. It's the product of relationships built over decades and of a political fund that makes NALC's voice impossible to ignore. That fund is our Letter Carriers Political Fund, and it's the reason this union can fight and win battles now and in the future. That influence isn't free, and it isn't automatic. It exists because letter carriers choose to invest in it year after year.
Our relationships and influence with the leadership of both parties, both in the House and the Senate, is something that we leverage when we need to. There may be some member of Congress up to some nonsense with some proposal that would harm us. Once the leadership finds out about it, they say, oh no, we're not going to mess with that. That's the type of influence that we've created and that we continue to leverage and build those relationships, whether it's to advance legislation or whether it's to defeat things or proposals that are negative. Those that are in control of what each party does in Congress and therefore control what actually happens on the floor are the place where our influence is most effective and really most important. Our success is based on strength. It's based on influence. It's important that for us to continue to grow that network, we grow our activism, we grow the people that we have working in DC, the people that we have working out in the field, but also that we grow our Letter Carrier Political Fund. The simplest thing that any member of NALC can do to help protect their job in this legislative political arena is make a small contribution to the Letter Carrier Political Fund through payroll deduction out of every paycheck. Our PAC is big for a union of our size. That's with only about 13% of our members participating in it. If 87% of our members knew about these fights and we told them how easy it was to contribute, there's no question that that 13% number would rise. And the way things work in this system in this country is the more money you have to spend in that political arena, the more influence you have, whether we like it or not. How about another hand for all of our members that have been involved in the fights that were highlighted in that video? Our fights on Capitol Hill have been tough over the last 2 years. We're going to continue to have fights. And to win fights, it takes us. It also takes friends, particularly friends in Washington, D.C., that have influence in very important positions. And it's my honor now to introduce today's guest speaker. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries represents the 8th District of New York. He is currently serving in his 7th term in Congress. He served as a Democratic leader since 2022. He is the highest-ranking Democrat in the House of Representatives. His entire time in Congress, especially during his time as leader, Congressman Jeffries has always stood with us. We've talked about this week the Protect Our Letter Carriers Act, that when it was first introduced, we had a press conference. Leadership in Congress does not come to these press conferences, but Leader Jeffries was there with us that day. He's been with us from the start on that bill and has always prioritized our safety. When the threat of privatization seemed inevitable, he stood with us to fight back. Leader Jeffries is always on our side. He not only stands with us, He supports all workers and understands the value and important roles of unions. We are grateful for his support and proud to have a House Democratic leader that we can count on. Brothers and sisters, please join me in welcoming our friend, House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries. They love you. You see that?
Okay. Are the letter carriers in the house right now? Are you all ready to fight like hell? Are you ready to work together to make sure that in November we take our country back? Well, good afternoon, everyone. What an honor and a privilege to be here with each and every one of you. So thankful for you, certainly to President Renfro. I appreciate our friendship, our partnership, and his tremendous leadership of this great union. President Renfro was one of the great union leaders this side of heaven, and I really appreciate his incredible service. To my fellow New Yorkers, and I ain't never had an escort committee like that before. So I'm so thankful for them and to the executive board and to each and every one of you. What an honor and a privilege to be here with all of you at this great convention. So thankful for the work that all of you do. I'm someone, of course, who was raised in a working class neighborhood in central Brooklyn. Grew up in a union household. Both my parents, public employees throughout their entire career. And so I feel right at home with all of you. Your values are our values, and my values are your values. And we're going to continue to stand up for letter carriers today, stand up for letter carriers tomorrow, stand up for letter carriers forever. That's what House Democrats will continue to do. Now, in addition to growing up in a working class neighborhood, growing up in a union household, my mother raised us in the Cornerstone Baptist Church. And we would go to church, Sunday school, every single Sunday. I'm thankful for it now, but every single Sunday, week after week, month after month, year after year, raised in Sunday school in the Cornerstone Baptist Church. And as my younger brother and I thought about it later on in life, because of the frequency of how often we'd be going to Sunday school, we used to think that we were mail carriers for the Lord. Y'all know why? Because it didn't matter if it was raining, snowing, sleeting, or hailing. If it was Sunday morning, we were going to church. But what an incredible thing that when the country, my younger brother and I, but when the country thinks about hard work, thinks about dedication, thinks about perseverance, thinks about overcoming obstacles, whatever they may be, people think about all of you and letter carriers across the nation. That's what the letter carriers are all about. Postal workers are all about hard work and dedication and perseverance. And of course, we know that the Postal Service, it's an iconic institution, one of the only institutions ever mentioned in the United States Constitution and was always thought of as central to the growth and development of our nation. And so the Postal Service, this institution that you all serve so incredibly well, in my view, postal workers are just as American as motherhood, baseball, and apple pie. That's what you all represent. Interesting, of course, that Ben Franklin was the first Postmaster General, one of the leading founding fathers, framers of the Constitution, first Postmaster General. I think it's kind of ironic, however, we went from Ben Franklin to the waste management guy. What a perfect analogy for this administration right now. But it doesn't matter who's at the top. The heart and soul of the Postal Service are represented by each and every one of you. And that's why we'll continue. And I'm so thankful for your work. Now, these are challenging times as we navigate this environment, unprecedented extremism to do together, notwithstanding how difficult things have been from COVID the last few years and what's unfolded over the last year or two, and certainly in Washington, D.C. But together, we were able to pass and have signed into law the Postal Service Reform Act of 2022 to make sure we protect your pension and protect your health care at all times. And then together, in 2024, we were able to pass and have signed into law, again by President Joe Biden, the Social Security Fairness Act to protect your earned benefits. And notwithstanding all of the challenges that we confront right now, together we're going to make sure that we pass legislation to end the workplace violence that you all have experienced and make sure at all times letter carriers are treated with the dignity and respect that you deserve. At all times. So we look forward to that continued work together. We also know in this environment, big challenges in the United States of America, unprecedented extremism, an administration that promised to lower costs on day one. Costs haven't gone down, costs have gone up. And life in this country right now is far too expensive. There are too many people, like all of you, working hard, playing by the rules, difficult to thrive, and in many instances can barely survive. Life is too expensive in the United States of America, and we believe that in this great country of ours, when you work hard and play by the rules, like all of you do, you should be able to live an affordable life, live a comfortable life, and live the good life. Can I break that down? Good paying job, good housing, good health care, a good education for your children, and when it's all said and done, a good retirement. That's what this union fights for. That's what we're going to fight for. And that, of course, means at all times we're going to make sure these MAGA extremists keep their hands off your Social Security and your Medicare. Work hard, play by the rules, and live the good life. And no movement has done more to make sure that that quintessential American dream has been brought to life than the men and women of organized labor. And we will continue as House Democrats to stand with you, push back against the attacks on unions, and when we get control of the gavels, to protect the right to organize at all times. We also believe in America, the wealthiest country in the history of the world, that health care can't simply be a privilege available only to the wealthy, the well-off, and the well-connected. Access to high-quality and affordable health care must be a right available to every single American. And we're committed to working to make sure that that happens. And lastly, we're focused on making sure that we deal with the corruption that has been unloaded on the American people in such an unprecedented way. Because when you've got folks in high office, including the highest office in the land, unleashing unprecedented corruption on the American people, if folks are too focused on enriching themselves, their family members, their friends, and their donors, then they're not focused on making your life better. And so, beginning on day one, when House Democrats get the gavels, we're going to hold the crooks accountable. Beginning on day one. And deliver to you a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. That's what you all deserve. And you're the best of America in that regard. So House Democrats are going to fight for an affordable America. We're going to fight to lower the high costs of groceries, gas, and housing. We're going to fight to make sure affordable health care is available to every single American. We're going to fight to get ICE under control. And we're going to fight to end this reckless war of choice over in the Middle East and stop spending money over there so we can spend money over here to make your life more affordable. And we know that there's an attack on our democracy, an attack on the Postal Service in that regard. We're going to protect the right for everyday Americans to vote in whatever way possible, including voting by mail. And we're thankful for the important work that you do in that regard, which is why one of our big priorities in protecting the right for every American to vote in whatever way that that state chooses is most appropriate. That when we get the gavels in the next Congress, one of our top priorities will be to pass the John Robert Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act so we can end the era of voter suppression in the United States of America once and for all. Thank you for your work in that regard. Let me close by just offering a word of encouragement that comes from some words that the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once offered during the early days of the Civil Rights Movement, which of course began in December of 1955. A few months after that, in March of 1956, Dr. King went to Brooklyn to speak to a gathering of folks, hundreds if not thousands of folks, people of goodwill, who wanted to figure out how they could help change the direction in the United States of America. In the face of all of the oppression and segregation and brutal Jim Crow-like tactics, there were a lot of folks who were skeptical about the ability of the then early movement for civil rights to be successful. But Dr. King said to them that no matter what the obstacles were, it was important to at all times press on and keep pressing. That's what Dr. King said. And then he told that gathering that if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But at all times, press on and keep pressing. And so I just stopped by to tell you all, in addition to thanking you for the incredible work that you do, the service that you provide to more than 330 million Americans all across this great country, that at this moment in time, we've got to press on and keep pressing. Press on for our children. Press on for our seniors. Press on for our veterans. Press on for our farmers. Press on for our dreamers. Press on for our unions. Press on for working class folks. Press on for the middle class. Press on for the poor. Press on for the sick. Press on for the afflicted. Press on for the least. Press on for the lost. Press on for the left behind. Press on for civil rights. Press on for voting rights. Press on for health care rights. Press on for reproductive rights. Press on for immigration rights. Press on for social justice. Press on for racial justice. Press on for economic justice. Press on for freedom. Press on for democracy. Press on for civil service. Press on until victory is won. God bless you.
Great job, man. Well done. I got something for you. All right, look forward. Okay, you're all standing. I want everyone to turn and face the back of the hall for a second. See all those blue shirts?
Yeah.
That's everybody that participates in the Letter Carrier Political Fund that are all in this fight together. And we have a Letter Carrier Political Fund shirt for you.
All right.
And you might remember this tradition we have of a letter carrier cheer. You ready? Yeah. How about a letter carrier cheer for Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries? Hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip. Hooray! Awesome. Great job, buddy. Brothers and sisters, please remain in your seats. Beginning on Monday and several times this morning, we had requests for collection to pass the hat, so to speak, for our brothers and sisters, some of which have been lost, some of which have been injured and suffered various hardships. Rule 26 and the rules that this convention has adopted cover the process and how this works. So we are going to make that collection shortly. So I would ask you to remain in the hall, would ask the tellers to come up to the desk next to the stage. The tellers will come around and pass the hat, so to speak. We also will display a QR code on the screen if you wish to utilize.
I have individual sheets too to pass down the aisle.
Brother Weiner also has individual sheets to pass down the aisle. If that is necessary, you may pay using Venmo. As a reminder, a motion has been made and adopted by the body for the National Union to match whatever the total contribution collected is. So dig deep in your pockets. If there's nothing in your pockets, ask your neighbor. Let's do what we are able to help out our brothers and sisters and their families that have suffered tragedy. Huh? Just Venmo. If you want to use something else, find somebody that's got a pocket full of cash and send it to them. And all right, while the tellers are getting ready, we will hit a couple of microphones. Brothers and sisters, here very quickly, we are going to have to get into national agreement resolutions. There are 79 of them printed in your book. There are more that are not printed in your book. So we have a lot of work yet to do. Microphone number 4, underprivileged.
Hello, Brian.
Hey,
Craig Bishop, Branch 133, Sacramento, California. How you doing this morning or afternoon?
I'm doing just fine for someone that's been standing in one place for most of all this day. Thank you, brother.
If you'll indulge me, I have 2 brief, by my standards, comments I'd like to make. First being, very fortunately, this being the first convention we've had since the Postal Service Health Benefit Program went into place. Very fortunate we don't have to have a lot of discussion on it. Evidently, it seems to be working out. But as anything that the Postal Service touches, when it first rolled out, we had some bumps in the road. And I'll tell you, I had a lot of my members, quite a large handful, reaching out to me 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific time. Too late to get a hold of the plan to talk to anybody. So I went ahead and emailed Stephanie Stewart, our health benefits director, hoping that the next morning she would get back to me and help us get things worked out. As it were, she got back to me almost immediately after I sent the email, took the names and numbers of all my members that were having troubles, contacted each one of those before it got too late to the evening to contact them, and got all their problems resolved. Since then, anytime I have after-hours things from us, I just contact her direct, a little bit piggish there, but every single time Stephanie has stepped up, addressed my concerns, and took care of the problems, and I think I really appreciate her, and we really have a jewel there. And if you're going to indulge me for the second comment, I would like to say we have a delegate within us here from a past president, I believe, from Branch 2502, Las Vegas, Nevada, and generations of letter carriers know him and his wife, Jerry and Linda Penn. I don't know that a lot of people know them by that name, but a lot of them will recognize them by the guy from Las Vegas that shows up everywhere and sells us nice shirts and other items. Jerry and his wife are getting to the age where they've decided to slow down, and they're going to seize this, and that just hurts me bad. They're just part of my whole history of going places, and I love both of them, and I was hoping we could have a letter carrier cheer for Jerry and Linda, even though she's not in attendance here.
Absolutely, brother.
Thank you.
I will believe it when I see it of Brother Penn slowing down, but I'll take your word for it. How about a letter carrier cheer for the Penns? Hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip. Hooray! Thank you, brother. Andy, you need me to tell them anything?
And you don't have Venmo? They're out there collecting already, Brian.
Okay. The tellers are out there collecting. If you need the QR code, there's some floating around in the hall. Just ask your teller.
You Venmo man?
Yeah,
Cash man.
I am today.
There you go. Here's the paper.
Thank you. I now have 2 copies of the Venmo barcode from Brother Weiner. I promise you, Brother Weiner, as soon as I have a couple of minutes to do something other than chair the convention, which might not happen for a while, I will certainly contribute in a very generous way. Microphone number 3, underprivileged.
Sean Galbraith, Branch 183, Santa Rosa. It is my honor to move that we make Mr. Jeffries an honorary letter carrier.
Thank you, brother. I'm not sure if we can make him an honorary letter carrier, but I would assume, brother, you would be an honorary member of the NALC. How's that?
How about that?
Okay. Is there a second? Microphone number 6, underprivileged.
I just had a question.
All right, brother. Hold tight. We got a motion. We'll only be recognized for the purposes of offering a second. Microphone number 3, underprivileged.
John Hufancha, Branch 348, Eureka, Humboldt County, California. I wholeheartedly second this motion.
Thank you, brother. Motion has been made and seconded to make Leader Hakeem Jeffries an honorary member of the NALC. Is there any discussion? The mics that are lit up under privilege, if your reasoning or what you wish to speak on does not relate to the motion in front of the body, I would ask you temporarily to take your button off the finger. Take your finger off the button, that'll work too. Microphone number 2, underprivileged.
Yeah, it's, Doug Bothan, Alamo Branch 421. Just point of reference, Mr. President, on July 25th, 2014 in Philadelphia, Hillary came to our convention, and we did, in fact, make her an honorary letter carrier.
Okay, thank you, brother. Microphone number 7, under information.
Sorry, this was supposed to be against. The signs are wrong.
Okay, before we recognize you for against, let me offer to the maker of the motion the opportunity to speak, if he wishes, in support of his motion. Not necessary or required, but I want to be sure you had the opportunity. And then we would move to any debate in opposition to the motion. Microphone number 3, underprivileged.
Once again, Sean Galbraith, 183. It is clear we are under attack by a specific political party, whether we like to admit it or not. It is clear that Mr. Jeffries is not among that party. That other party in many ways has attacked us. I believe Mr. Jeffries has displayed that he will back us. I think it's the least we can do.
Thank you, brother. Microphone number 2, underprivileged.
Kenny Montgomery, Vice President of the New York State Association. I call for the question.
Thank you, brother. Question has been called for. Is there a second to the call for the question? Microphone number 4, underprivileged.
Stephen Holloway, Branch 507, Madison, Wisconsin. I second.
Thank you, brother. Question has been called for and seconded. We will now vote on whether to proceed on the motion to make Leader Hakeem Jeffries an honorary member of the NALC. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, with more than a 2/3 majority voting in the affirmative. There will be no further debate on the motion. We will now proceed to voting on the motion itself. The motion is to make Leader Hakeem Jeffries an honorary member of the NALC. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The motion passes. I will be very happy, and I'm sure he will be very happy, to inform him that the body has chosen to do this. Microphone number 8, underprivileged.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon, Brian. Greg Andrajic,
I'm from the great branch of Alan L. Stewart, 500 out of Harrisburg, PA. For the last 4 days, we've been running a raffle for MDA for 2 crocheted blankets that my wife had made. And I'd like to thank the members in here and family and anybody else that bought tickets. We have pulled the tickets. Our outstanding national business agent, Brian, he pulled our tickets, and I would like to let you know who the winners are. The first blanket, which was the one with the gold logo, which is similar to the one on stage, was ticket number 3320004. The name on the back of the ticket was Amanda from Branch 88. The second blanket with the white logo was ticket number 3320754. The name on the back of the ticket was Karen Cordova. If you are either of you are in the hall right now, you can meet me out at the table to collect your winnings. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Microphone number 4, underprivileged.
Stephen Holloway, Branch 507, Madison, Wisconsin. If the body will allow me to deviate from my standard adopted role.
Yes, sir, brother. You have performed admirably. You are due the consideration of the body to allow such deviation as you've requested.
I would like to call our attention to the fact that we have 45 printed resolutions left in our books. Thus far, during our convention, we have discussed and taken action upon 28. With that in mind, I call for the orders of the day.
Thank you, brother. While there is no official agenda other than what is, of course, required by the NALC Constitution, there would be nothing officially that could be done, but with the spirit of your comments, I assure you that very shortly we are going to start going on national agreement resolutions, and you are unlikely to find anyone that feels more strongly about the need to do that than me. So we are going to, I will get microphone number 6 under information, and then we are going into national agreement resolutions. Thank you, brother. Microphone number 6, rise under information.
Thank you, Brother Renfro. Name's Homer Hernandez, branch president of 421 San Antonio. I had a question. I've never seen a bill be put up to remove management's bonuses. This is a first, very unique. What are we doing to make sure it passes? It probably would eliminate a lot of harassment in the workroom place, because that's what they do a lot just to get them bonuses, any level 20 and beyond. It's time to remove their bonuses so they can act correctly.
Thank you, brother. Given any opportunity to advance the legislation that the brother referenced, NALC would be in support of doing that. To be very frank with the body, under the current leadership and the makeup of Congress, there's going to be almost no opportunity to do that. I say almost just to leave. I guess it's possible, but the possibility is basically zero. but as Leader Jeffries referenced, that could change next year when hopefully he is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and we will continue to monitor that legislation going forward.
Well, brother, I believe that if you asked each and every one of our members in here to start making some phone calls to their senators and congressmen, maybe we can make a difference. Appreciate you.
Thank you, brother. Microphone number 4, underprivileged.
It is regarding a national agreement resolution, if we are ready.
Well, sister, you are absolutely proper to rise for such reason, underprivileged. Please go ahead.
Kim Batson, Branch 1104, Vancouver, Washington, and first-time delegate. Thank you.
We're glad you're here.
I'm a little nervous, but we're going to go ahead.
Okay.
The language before the delegation does not properly reflect our intent, and we will do that work locally and revisit the issue at a later time. In order to save time, we wish to withdraw National Agreement Resolution 45 as makers of the resolution.
Thank you, sister. You did an outstanding job. National Agreement Resolution 45 is withdrawn. Microphone number 9, underprivileged.
Tony Vaughn, Branch 176. I'd like to make a motion that the delegates assemble accept all the approved by the recommendation of the Executive Board, all the approved in block.
Thank you, brother. Such a motion was considered and adopted by the body yesterday, so all of the resolutions that are in the resolutions book, general, legislative, and national agreement, have at this point been previously, all the resolutions where the Executive Council recommended approval have been previously approved. Thank you, brother. Microphone number 4, underprivileged.
Mario M. Spampanato from Branch 114, Duluth, Minnesota. We would like to retract resolution number 35. Resolution number 33, which was already approved, is a much better laid out one, so it's redundant and not needed at this point.
Thank you, brother. National Agreement Resolution 35 has been withdrawn. The other resolution that was referenced, you will hear in the Executive Council's report something to that effect about other resolutions. This will not only in